Nectarines are an item that I didn't used to can very much. I would eat them fresh a lot, but I tended to can more of the peaches. In recent years, I've started using the nectarines more, and I actually love all the different recipes that I can do for this and just the flavor that it imparts. So today I'm making honey nectarine syrup, and it is so good. It's actually super easy. Because the nectarine has a relatively thin skin, I won't even have to blanch it for this one. I just slice it in half and twist in order to get the seed out. And sometimes, like this one, it'll break that seed in half. And that's okay. I just pull it, and if there's any leftover edge from it, I can cut that off. And then I'll put it right in my blender. I usually start with about 4 nectarines because I need 5 cups worth of pulp. You could use a food processor for this as well, but I actually really like using my Vitamix. And now I'll blend it up on low for about 20 seconds. Then I check my level, and I'm at 4 cups right now, so I'll add 1 more nectarine, and that should get me up to that 5-cup mark. And now it's perfect, right at 5 cups. So I'll add that to my pot, and I'll add 1/4 of a cup of water to that. Then I'll place this on the stove and just bring it to a simmer. Now that it's come up to a simmer, I'll set my timer for 5 minutes, and I'll stir kind of regularly. Now I'll place my nectarine pulp in the bottom portion of my honey strainer. This is the finer mesh portion. I place it right on top of my pan. This one happens to fit perfectly. And I'll pour that pulp right in. After 1 hour, I'll come back and I'll stir this a little bit to make sure that the liquids that are on the top can reach the bottom, and then I'll let it sit for another hour. So it'll have 2 hours worth in here. So a lot of the moisture is out of it now that it's been a couple of hours, but I like to work it just a little bit longer. I actually don't mind if small amounts of fruit get through. I just don't want the fiber to get through. So I press it back and forth because I want to get as much of that out as possible. I found that it tends to be kind of a thin syrup if I don't do this, because it is just the juice that's getting through at that point. I usually do this for about 5 minutes or so. I think I've gotten all the moisture out of this that I'm going to. It's pretty thick now. And then I turn it on its side and I pull any amount of fruit off of the bottom that I can, because of the fact that it tends to cling there. And I like to do this part because it makes my syrup a little more thick. It does make it a little less translucent. So if that's important to you, then keep that in mind. You might not want to do that part, but I like to have a thicker syrup. And I don't throw the pulp away. I actually keep it, and I'll turn that into nectarine powder. So now I'm ready to add my 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, 1 cup of sugar, and 1 cup of honey. I really prefer to do the local honey and to look for some that's really thick. I feel like that does a better job of thickening it up. Now I'll place this on the stove, bring it to a simmer, and cook it until it's my desired thickness. Now that it's come to a boil, I'll simmer it for 5 minutes unless I want it thicker, and then I'll continue to simmer. Now I'll fill up my 1/2 pint jars to 1/4 of an inch of headspace, which is the space from the top of the food to the top of the jar. It really is just this pretty color and texture. As it cools down, it'll thicken up even more. I'll use a clean damp cloth to wipe off the rim of my jars so that if anything got on the edge, that it won't interfere with the seal. Then I place my lids and rings on until they're fingertip tight. These are actually a new favorite for me. These are superb lids. It's an American-made company, and they have this super squishy seal, which I like so much, and it also has corrosion-resistant coatings on there, which make it so it does better in my root cellar, which is good because it's a little bit more humid down there. I have a link as well as a 20% off discount code in my description below. So now I'll place this in my boiling water bath, submerged by 1 to 2 inches of water, and I'll process it for 10 minutes if I'm at sea level. I'm at 1,200 feet, so I'll go for 15, but I won't start my timer until after it starts to boil. Now that my timer's gone off, I turn off the heat, remove the lid, and let it cool for 5 minutes. I place them on a heat-resistant surface about 1 to 2 inches apart so that they can cool down quickly. I'll leave them there for about 24 hours so that they can get a good seal. I know that they have a good seal if the center of the lid has depressed down. If it has, then I remove the ring, wash off the outside with hot soapy water, and place them in a cool, dry, dark location like my pantry and use them in the next 1 to 3 years. If any of them didn't seal, I would place it in the refrigerator and use it right away. I was trying to think of the best way to taste test this for you guys so that you can have an idea of what I have going on here. So I'm just gonna pour it into my spoon so that you can see how thick it is. I like mine to be just a little bit thicker because then it sets up a little bit better on like a pancake or a waffle. And it's so good. It's really fun because it's got that lovely nectarine flavor, but behind that in the background, you get that honey taste, which is so good.